Hi everyone, I am Vandana Sharma and today we are going to do Class 11th Hornbill English Core Book, the poem The Laburnum Top by Ted Hughes. Let's read something about the poet. Ted Hughes was one of the giants of 20th century British poetry. Ted Hughes was born in Mytholmroyd, Yorkshire in 1930. After serving as in the Royal Air Force, Hughes attended Cambridge, where he studied archaeology and anthropology, taking a special interest in myths and legends. In 1956, he met and married the American poet Sylvia Plath, who encouraged him to submit his manuscript to a first book contest run by the Poetry Center. Awarded first prize by judges Mary Ann Moore, W. H. Auden and Stephen Spender, The Hawk in the Rain secured Hughes' reputation as a poet of international stature. Let's recite the poem. The laburnum top is silent, quite still, in the afternoon yellow September sunlight, a few leaves yellowing, all its seeds fallen, till the goldfinch comes with a twitching chirp, a suddenness, a startlement at a branch end. Then sleek as a lizard, and alert and abrupt, she enters the thickness, and a machine starts up, of chitterlings, and a tremor of wings and trillings. The whole tree trembles and thrills. It is the engine of her family. She stokes it full, then flirts out to a branch end, showing her barred face identity mask. Then, with eerie, delicate whistle-chirrup whisperings, she launches away towards the infinite, and the laburnum subsides to empty. Let's have a brief introduction of the poem. The poem Laburnum Top is written by Ted Hughes. It is about a repaying relationship between the laburnum tree and the goldfinch bird. The tree is yellow, silent, and death-like, and is made alive by the bird and her young ones. The yellow bird has her shelter on the tree, where she feeds her young ones, but as soon as the bird leaves to fly in the sky, the tree becomes silent and death-like again. Let's read the poem stanza-wise for proper explanation. The poem goes like this. The laburnum top is silent, quite still. In the afternoon, yellow September sunlight, a few leaves yellowing, all its seeds fallen. Laburnum is a short tree with hanging branches, yellow flowers, and poisonous seeds. As you can see here, it's a very thick tree with yellow colored flowers which are very dense and has poisonous seeds. In the above lines, the poet says that he saw a laburnum tree whose leaves were yellow. Yellow leaves means the season was autumn season. The tree's top is still and silent in the daytime of September month. It is autumn season and all the seeds of the tree had fallen. The poet has used the word yellow for leaves and sunlight. Yellow symbolizes silence, death, and beauty. He describes the whole scene of the tree with this color. So the most prominent thing in this stanza is that the laburnum top is silent in the beginning. The tree seems to be quite dead, quite still. In the afternoon yellow September sunlight, the month is of September, the season is autumn, and all the seeds have fallen from the tree. A few leaves are yellowing. Till the goldfinch comes, with a twitching chirrup, a suddenness, a startlement, at a branch end. Then sleek as a lizard, and alert and abrupt, she enters the thickness, and a machine starts up, of chitterlings, and a tremor of wings and trillings, the whole tree trembles and thrills. A goldfinch bird, as you can see the picture of the bird here, a goldfinch bird comes to end the death-like scene of the tree and makes a sudden chirrup sound. The bird, while being rapid, fast, alert, and precautious like a lizard, sits on the branches of the tree. As she moved towards the thickness of the branch where her nest was, her younger ones started chirping and doing vibrations with wings, making a sound like a machine. Because of the movement of the bird and her young ones, the tree starts to shake and thrill. The poet has given two opposite scenarios of the tree. The tree first being death-like in the first stanza and still, and then giving life and shelter to the bird and her young ones. So you see, in this stanza, the poet has shown the contradiction before the arrival of the bird and after its arrival. As soon as the goldfinch comes on the laburnum top, with the twitching chirrup, a suddenness, a startlement at a branch end, she sits at the end of the branch with the twitching chirrup and a suddenness. Then as sleek, as soft, as swift, and as precautious as a lizard, and abrupt, she enters the thickness where her nest is, in which her young ones are staying in the shelter of the tree. And when she enters, suddenly a machine starts up. Machine, because of the sound of the birds, the young ones of the goldfinch, because of the sounds of chirpings, chitterings, a tremor of their wings and trillings, all these sounds made together the feel of a machine starting up. Therefore, the whole tree trembles and thrills. It means the whole tree suddenly comes into life when goldfinch arrived on the branch of the tree. It is the engine of her family. She stokes it full, then flirts out to a branch end, showing her barred face identity mask. The goldfinch bird is the engine of her family. So the pronoun it is used here for the bird goldfinch. She is the engine of her family. She is the engine of her family means she is responsible for their survival. She provides food to her young ones and moves to the other branch end. Her dark-colored striped face is invisible as her body is yellow-colored and hides behind the yellow leaves of the tree. Therefore, we can say that goldfinch is the engine of her family. She stokes it full means she feeds the bird to their fullest, then flirts out to a branch end. Flirts out means lead on to a branch end, showing her barred face identity mask. So her barred face means her face which is barred, which is hidden, that is her identity, and that acts as a mask also for her. She shows that barred face identity mask of hers and flies away. Then with eerie whistle chirrup whisperings she launches away towards the infinite, and the laburnum subsides to empty. After feeding its young ones and reaching the end of the branch, The bird makes a sweet chirping sound, just like whispering, and flies away towards the infinite sky. So, towards the infinite here means towards the endless, limitless sky. It again makes the laburnum tree silent and death-like. It shows that before the arrival of the goldfinch, the tree was as silent, as still, just like death. And after she left, after feeding her young ones, after giving life to the tree for some time, she again went away and flew towards the infinite sky, leaving the laburnum tree silent and death-like again. Let's see the few literary devices that have been used in the poem. The first device is alliteration, that is repetition of a consonant sound at the beginning of two or more consecutive words. The instances of alliteration in the poem are as September sunlight, as we can see the sound sir being repeated. The consonant sound sir is repeated at the beginning of these two words, September sunlight, and the sound t when we read tree trembles. The second literary device used in the poem is simile, that is comparison between two things using words like or as sleek as a lizard. The poet has used metaphor also, which is an indirect comparison between two things. Generally, a quality is compared. She enters the thickness and a machine starts up. The noise created by the movement of the bird is compared to the machine's noise. It is the engine of her family, calling the goldfinch as the engine of her family, showing her barred face identity mask. Another device that the poet has used is personification, the attribution of personal nature characteristics to something non-human, that is, the whole tree trembles and thrills. And last but not the least, transferred epithet, that is, the figure of speech where the adverb is transferred to another noun. Like here the adverb barred face, barred, is used for a noun. Let's summarize the poem now. The poem starts with the description of the laburnum tree, whose top was still and silent. Its leaves had turned yellow and seeds had fallen down. It was a daytime in the month of September when the tree was standing still and death-like. The lifeless tree becomes alive by the arrival of the goldfinch bird. She came to feed her younger ones who are on the thickness of the branch. The tree is her shelter. She arrives at the end of the branch with a chirping sound. She further moves to the other side of the branch with rapid and precautionary movement like a lizard. As soon as she arrives, her younger ones start chirping like a machine and vibrating and flapping their wings. The death-like tree becomes alive and it trembles and shakes. After feeding them, she flies to the other side of the branch. Her dark-colored face with the yellow body was barely visible as she vanished behind the yellow leaves. She flew away in the sky, leaving the tree death-like again. Thank you, everyone. That was the poem.